Hey, good morning, you guys. Yeah, we are here in Fulton Market, just along Lake and Peoria, and I'll step aside so you can see. This is the sidewalk where that man was pinned at gunpoint and beaten before two male suspects stole his items and took off. I will say there is a Chicago police squad car here that just pulled up in the last hour or so, and we don't know necessarily whether this is connected to the investigation of this robbery or whether they're just stopping by. I want you to take a look at this video, though. As you said, it was all caught on camera. This may be a little bit hard to watch just given the graphic nature of things. As you mentioned, this happened during broad daylight yesterday. It happened just before sunset at around 4:30. And according to police, at least one of the suspects pulled out a gun and demanded items from the victim while the other suspect beat him. Once the suspects got the victim's item in their hands, they took off in the Range Rover seen in this video. I did check this morning, guys, and the number of violent crimes reported specifically when it comes to robberies are actually down in Chicago. The city has an online dashboard that shows you something called violence and victimization trends. So here's what I found. In 2020, when crime rates were historically high all across the country, you can see robbery victimizations across Chicagoland were up. Compare this to just last year, those numbers dropped by a lot, especially towards the tail end of 2025. Now, this morning I spoke with the executive director of Fulton Market Association, and he told me about what he thinks needs to be done to keep people safe.
Criminals will commit crimes when there's cameras or when there are not cameras. However, I do believe they know in Fulton Market that there have been a few armed robberies. There have been some, like other neighborhoods, and they're not being caught. And so the first line of defense is to have Chicago police cameras that would record not only the crimes that happen, but the vehicles coming in and out of the community.
Well, meanwhile, we know Chicago police say that they are investigating this robbery, and we also know the suspects, as of this morning, are still on the run.
Palatine police say they have a person of interest in custody, and detectives are trying to figure out if this guy targeted anyone else in the area. Thankfully, that young girl is safe, but you are about to see just how this robbery went down. Video shows a young lady walking, and that's a stranger just steps behind. He's following way too closely at 7 a.m. Monday morning. The girl tries to avoid the man. Then there's a cry for help. The man grabs her and also takes her cell phone.
It's a little more suspicious than just grabbing a phone.
Young lady.
He's up to something weird.
Palatine police say the guy lurking behind these townhomes off Westwood and right next to the busy Palatine Metro stop is truly concerning.
I would be worried about my wife. I don't think it's good for any area. It's scary.
Troy and Entra Perrin often walk in this area of Palatine. But seeing this video and hearing about the stranger grabbing and robbing the student leave them watching their backs.
To me, it's always, situational awareness. You pay attention to your surroundings.
Police say the young lady was not injured.
I'd be terrified as a parent.
But neighbors say the student and their own sense of security is heightened by what police say is a random attack. We've learned the girl forgot something after missing the school bus, and while heading back home alone, the stranger approached. That scream likely scared off the man who showed no signs of backing off.
I don't know how old the young lady is. She did the right thing by calling out and screaming.
Palatine police say about 4 hours later, they found a man fitting the description of the stranger in the robbery. This image sent to us shows police taking him into custody.
Why blur his face? Why blur the criminal's face? I want to see what this criminal looks like.
Now, police say that man did resist arrest and took off running, but he was eventually captured. Charges are pending tonight, and detectives are just trying to make sure he hasn't targeted anyone else. Live out.
Now, this is a suburb in Chicago. But crime is down. Crime is down. Let's go over into the stats. Go into the stats and exactly see how crime is down. So let's get over into it. So as they say, Chicago crime recorded a historical decline through 2025 with several key merits reaching the lowest level in decades. So we got homicides. Chicago recorded 416 homicides in 2025, a nearly 30% drop from its 587 in 2024. And then you got shootings incidents fell 35%. and the number of shooting victims dropped by 33%. Overall violent crime citywide decreased 21.6% to 23% according to various 2025 reports. Specifically, robberies fell 31.9% and carjackings 49%. Total property crime dropped by 16%. However, some subcategories like non-residential burglaries and shoplifting saw an increase of 50% to 9%, respectively. So, the arrest rates in total crime rose from 13.8% to 15.8% in 2025, with violent crime arrest rates reaching 17.9%, its highest level since the pandemic. That's a crazy stat, no matter how you think about it. So the percentage that the criminals are arrested, if I'm understanding that stat right, violent crime arrest is at 17.9%. That's awful. But I mean, that might be standard for most places. I don't know. But that just sounds awful to me. So early 2026 data, preliminary data in January indicates a downward trend and is continuing. Homicides, 29. There's 29 recorded in January. That's a 29% decrease from January of 2025. Overall crime, violent crime is down 15%, and property crime is down 16%. And then the factors, they got the mayor effort for Brandon Johnson, federal involvement, national context. Despite these gains, the crime remains concentrated in specific neighborhoods like Austin, which led the city in total crimes for 15 consecutive years. And the residents in many South West Side neighborhoods still report significantly lower safety compared to North Side residents. Now, like I said, they're saying crime is down and the stats are supporting that. But some people are saying that they're just padding the stats, like officially not recognizing some crimes. He traveled from over here to Chicago. Oh, that we're not counting that as our crimes. Oh, he made it over. He left Chicago and then did it over there. Oh, that's not counted as us. That is what they're saying, but I'm not sure. The stats are saying everything is down. But tell me, y'all, what did y'all think? What do y'all think? Is the crime rate down in Chicago? Anybody in Chicago, tell me what y'all are seeing. Overall, at the end of the day, like the lady said, you got to have situational awareness. You need to keep your head on a swivel, like the layman's how you say it. Keep your head on a swivel. Now, will it work all the time? Of course not. But everyone needs to be aware of their surroundings, because people won't care what happens to you. And then you might just walking down the street and then people pop out the Range Rover, and immediately try to rob you for everything you got. Kick you in the head, put a gun to your head, and then jump back in the car and go away. Will most likely not get caught. But let me know your thoughts on that situation, y'all. Let me know how you feel about that whole thing. The world is a crazy place, but we have to review the world together, y'all. We have to review the world. The world together.